OpenAI has rolled out a new feature called ChatGPT Pulse, initially available to Pro subscribers, which proactively researches and delivers highly personalized daily updates. Think of Pulse as a super competent assistant that doesn't wait for questions but learns your interests, preferences, and context overnight, then presents digestible, visually rich briefing cards each morning. But before we dig in, did you know 40% of you aren't following us? Come on, mates, hit that follow button and collect our episodes on pods.media. Thanks, guys.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. We're diving deep into this, well, pretty interesting shift, right? From AI being this reactive thing you ask, it answers to something genuinely proactive, almost agentic. So our mission today is really clear. What does proactive actually mean with Pulse, like in practice? And maybe more importantly, why should you care? How could this change, how you start your day or deal with all that info overload?
Yeah, it's fascinating because Pulse really tries to change how you interact with AI from the get-go. The core idea is it generates, say, 5 to 10 curated briefs, things tailored specifically to you. And it does this while you're offline, overnight. So it's not just another notification. It's like a full custom intel drop waiting for you when you wake up. The promise, I guess, is this zero-effort readiness. You start the day informed, maybe prep for that first meeting, up to speed on relevant news, all without really lifting a finger.
Right, that push instead of pull is the key difference, isn't it? We're so used to asking the AI, prompting it, digging for info. Pulse flips that. It's actively generating stuff, pushing it to you based on context it figures out overnight. And it's not just like generic news headlines either. The sources talk about a real variety. It could be big picture world news, could be super specific to-dos pulled from somewhere, maybe sports updates if you follow a team, or even prepping you for travel based on your calendar.
And that really gets to the why it matters part. It's trying to fundamentally redefine how you use an AI assistant. Previously, the AI was a tool you picked up when needed. With Pulse, it's leaning much more towards being a co-pilot, one that's actively managing your context, maybe even before you are. The interaction starts with the AI offering info, not waiting for your prompt.
And for you, the listener, who probably values efficiency, hates switching between 10 different apps, Pulse seems positioned as this ultimate aggregation play.
Exactly. Think about the mental cost of just switching contexts all morning. You check News App 1, News App 2, your work calendar, maybe a personal to-do list, glance at stocks. Pulse aims to just collapse that whole routine. It wants to pull all that personalized stuff into one single AI-powered briefing. It's not just faster. It's about lowering the kind of cognitive load needed just to feel ready for the day, right? A shortcut, basically.
Which leads straight into how it's presented. A big takeaway seems to be that it's not just a wall of text. It tackles information overload using these digestible, visually rich briefing cards.
Yeah, the visual aspect is really key. The info's been processed, synthesized, sure, but the format is designed for quick scanning. Each card has an AI image, some summary text. It means those 5 or 10 key updates aren't just there. They're meant to be instantly understandable. Helps with retention. It's trying to feel different, more intuitive than just another email digest.
Okay, let's get into the engine room then. This is where it gets really interesting, I think. How does Pulse actually know what you need? Because suggesting a snack is one thing, but summarizing risks for a client pitch tomorrow, that's different. It seems like it's not magic, it's this interplay of a few different mechanisms. First layer seems pretty straightforward. It uses ChatGPT's existing memory features. It tracks conversations, interests you've shown, questions you ask a lot, preferences you state. That's how it learns you, like, say, a specific football team or follow a certain industry.
Right, that's sort of the passive learning, what you generally care about part. But the really game-changing bit seems to be the active learning through deep integration. This is where the agentic side starts showing up. Pulse connects, apparently quite deeply, with external apps. Critically, things like your email and your Google Calendar. And then integration lets it pull context for your immediate future. It sees the 10 a.m. flight booking to London. It knows about that tricky budget meeting this afternoon because it scans your connected calendar or email. So it can brief you on maybe weather in London, transport issues, or even pull key discussion points from that budget document, all before you've even thought to ask for it.
So memory gives the preferences, the baseline. Connected apps give the urgent, real-time context. And then there's the third piece, right? User feedback. Those little thumbs up and thumbs down buttons, they're not just for show. They're actively training your specific personalization model. Giving a thumbs down doesn't just hide that topic. It tells the AI, less of this, please, refining your profile. That feedback loop is crucial for improving the predictions. Now, currently, this is only for Pro subscribers, so who really benefits right now? It seems clear the target is professionals, maybe students, anyone really busy whose time is super valuable. Basically, if you have a packed schedule and need to be on the ball the second your day starts, you're likely the prime candidate for this kind of efficiency boost.
And that brings up a really important point about the technical side. Why limit it to pro users initially? Well, the sources are pretty clear. This kind of deep, personalized, continuous info generation takes a lot of computational power. They call it high compute. Think about it. It's not just answering one quick question. Pulse is running complex algorithms, looking across lots of data, predicting needs, pulling info from outside, generate unique summaries and images for potentially millions of users, all while they sleep. That's resource intensive.
Huh.
Very. So OpenAI likely needs that pro subscription revenue to cover the costs and fund the optimization needed before they can even think about rolling it out wider, plus and eventually for users, which they say is the plan. It's a practical hurdle for now.
Right. So looking beyond this initial phase, let's talk challenges. Because getting to true agentic AI isn't just about clever models, is it? It's about massive operational issues. We touched on compute, but what are the big roadblocks? Scaling and trust seem key.
Absolutely. Beyond just the cost of running those computations, scaling this reliably is huge. If Pulse is doing 5, 10 personalized tasks for millions of people, even small errors or AI hallucinations can become big problems fast and erode trust. So getting the scaling right, ensuring consistent quality and performance for everyone, that's critical. And then there's the data dependency. Pulse's usefulness is directly tied to how much you let it see. If you block calendar access, it can't help with logistics. No email access. It can't brief you on important comms, which leads straight back to that fundamental tension in AI right now. Balancing user privacy against the real utility you get from letting the AI access more of your data. It's a constant trade-off.
That trade-off feels central. So where's this all heading? Pulse feels like a step, right? A stepping stone towards something bigger. This proactive stuff points towards, well, a truly agentic AI assistant eventually.
Agentic AI is the buzzword, and it means going way beyond just delivering information. The end game isn't just briefing you about the restaurant booking. It's potentially making the booking for you, handling complex multi-step tasks more autonomously.
Can you give an example? What does that look like practically?
Okay, so imagine instead of you searching for dinner spots, checking reviews, filtering by availability, calling or clicking to book, an agentic AI might notice a free evening on your connected calendar. It checks your known dining preferences from its memory, finds suitable, highly rated options nearby using real-time data, books a table, maybe even sends a calendar invite to your partner or friend, all initiated by the AI based on context. Or maybe on the work side, it could take the messy notes from that budget meeting, automatically identify the key action items, check them against your existing task list, and then draft follow-up emails to the relevant people. You just need to give a final okay. But the sources are quick to point out this requires pretty significant advances first, especially in the AI's ability to plan multiple steps ahead and use different tools reliably without making mistakes. That level of trust isn't quite there yet.
Okay, so summing up the general feel from the sources, Pulse looks like the next immediate step for personal AI. It's aiming to be always on, always learning, anticipating what you need instead of just waiting. It holds this promise of fundamentally changing how we manage information, how we manage our time. But those big hurdles, scaling it affordably and reliably, and navigating that trust and privacy issue, they have to be cleared first.
Yeah, it really feels like we're watching a potential paradigm shift unfold.
Yeah.
Moving from AI is just a passive tool we have to actively direct for every little thing, to AI as more of a sophisticated co-pilot, one that understands your context, anticipates what's next, and can suggest or even do things proactively. It's aiming for a total redefinition of what productivity means. Less manual searching, more tailored synthesis,
And maybe let's circle back to that scaling and trust challenge for one last thought for you, the listener. If Pulse, or something like it, is going to get good enough to handle your travel plans, draft important emails, coordinate your life, its quality, its usefulness depends entirely on how much data, how much of your digital life you connect to it, which brings up a really important question to mull over. When an AI starts genuinely acting for you, and the price of that autonomy is massive compute power and deep access to your personal data, how much friction or maybe how much privacy are you ultimately willing to trade for that level of personalized trust and convenience? Something to think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into what looks like a very proactive future for AI. We'll catch you next time.